Tony Stewart to the lead. 5 bonus points for Tony. Sadler to second. Former winner at this track. 13 starts here for Tony Stewart. A win, 9 top 10s. Back to Dave.
With Jeff Gordon right now. Jeff, I heard you talking about I can't pass up there. Was it the high line that got you?
Well, actually what happened was Casey Mears made a pass, or was trying to make a pass on Bobby Labonte, and I wanted to, you got to take advantage of the high line because usually guys get slowed down on the bottom and the momentum's on the outside, and so I tried to get as close to Bobby Labonte as I could coming off before, and when those two cars came together, it just took every bit of air off my car that was there, and it just went straight in the wall. And the speeds are really fast out there, obviously, and it's very, very difficult to pass. So, we got in the wall. We'll try to fix it, get back out there, but not going to be a very good night for the DuPont Chevrolet. Unfortunately, it was awesome right before that.
Thanks, Jeff. Tricky track tonight, guys.
BP, we talked about around 30 laps, these guys were going to start having problems, and it's about 30 laps since we've gone green, and Junior blows a right front tire.
Didn't even get to 30 laps. Under 30. Dale Earnhardt Jr. bringing out the caution.
And I tell you what, there's no joy at the Lowe's Motor Speedway because he is the crowd favorite here. His hometown just a few miles away. There you see Biffle on the inside and goes down to turn 1, and oh my goodness, that tire just exploded.
It just, and like I said, you're along for the ride when that happens. Always seems to blow going into the corners too.
Whoa. Robbie Gordon blew a tire here last night that sounded like a
Heaven went off.
Yes, exactly right.
Tell you what, Greg,
I'm sorry, BP.
Greg Biffle's lucky he chose that moment to be on the inside.
Junior had a very good race car tonight. He was really cutting his way through traffic.
On board with Dale Earnhardt Jr. as the right front tire blows.
Just take a listen. Happens pretty fast.
Hey guys, we blew right front. You okay, man?
Marty Snyder.
Well, you see the right front fender for Matt Kenseth. He was running 5th. He said, I got a flat tire right when Junior did, and they were worried about this exactly right here, tearing up the fender well. Matt's been trying to go as slow as he possibly could, but it's still tore it up anyway. He's coming to pit road, and pit road is not open, so that'll be a penalty. Plus, they'll have a damaged right front fender that they'll have to fix with tape and maybe some sheet metal.
3rd in the championship standings.
I was just going to say, he didn't tear it up too bad, Marty. They can fix that with tape, unless that tire really comes apart and starts taking off your brake lines and things like that. I think he'll get away with that because I think they can fix that.
Over the roar of the crowd and the roar of the cars, when Robbie Gordon's tire blew last night, the 3 of us jumped. That's how loud the sound was, and you can imagine what it would feel like being in that car.
And Robbie was lucky. He had a rear tire blow, but it blew on the straightaway.
Marty?
And Robbie Reiser agrees with Wally. He said it's not as bad as you think over the radio to Matt, saying we can fix this with what we have. It's going to be tape fixed, and they're going to fix it the next time around. 4 brand new tires here. They're going to bring them in next time and fix the fender. As you said, Bill, 3rd in the championship. They had a very fast car for tonight, and they were one of the ones being patient, and they still had a right front go down.
Finished 5th last week at Kansas.
This is just a bad pattern because we're seeing it happen under 30 laps, and we got a lot of racing to go, and now every driver in the field is thinking about blowing a right front tire. They just hope it's not their turn.
That was 28 laps of green flag racing, the field coming to pit road.
And why did Tony Stewart stay on the racetrack?
Matt.
And a close call for the tire carrier for the 97 as Mark Martin went by. They're going to make a slight chassis adjustment. Kurt is concerned of getting the car too free over this next run to Snyder.
Well, Greg Biffle said, I love the chassis, but I am so worried about tires, guys. And like many of the teams on pit road, go up on air pressure on all the tires. Dave.
Elliott Sadler being very patient. No tire issues on the last run. They will make a 4th tire change. No chassis adjustments for the 38. He will try to lead him off pit road, clean the grill, and he does. Alan.
Miscommunication for Tony Stewart. They were having a discussion on the radio about the handling of the car when he came to the spot on pit road where he had to pit. The spotter, Mark Robertson, was trying to tell Tony to pit. Ryan Newman took a fuel can with him from his pit stall, but Tony could not hear him because he was talking That's why he did not pit. A big mistake there.
But they're going to come in, aren't they, Alan? They got to come in.
I took my ears off that to watch Ryan Newman leave with the fuel can, Wally, but I believe they will. Yes,
yeah,
they have to.
You're right. I mean, they got to come in.
There's Greg Zipadelli, his crew chief, Jimmy Makar from Joe Gibbs Racing. The 12 will have to come back to pit road, bring that thing back if it hangs on. Stop and go penalty for Ryan under caution at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Hey everybody, Junior's on the pole!
Well, it's not exactly what you're thinking. You see, he's actually on the South Pole thanks to our newest Nextel Fan of the Week presented by Sprint, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Randy Buckner. Now, Randy, why was this flag flying over the South Pole?
Every time I deploy, I take a little piece of NASCAR with me, and had the opportunity to go to the South Pole and took the opportunity to fly this flag there.
So how do you celebrate NASCAR? Well, tell us about it. Log on to NASCAR.com/Nextel.
The field coming to the green, and Randy will be pleased to know that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is okay. Junior, did you feel a tire problem building, or did it just go instantaneously?
It just went bam and hit the wall. It's pretty loud, but I'm okay. Luckily, it happened on the straightaway, and I had a great car though, man. Tony Jr., man, that thing was flying. We was gonna have a great night, and I'm just excited about next week now. But shoot, that car was flying. Just it's a shame, brand new car, and we was gonna test it this week in Atlanta, but you know, we had a great car. It's too bad.
You can see though the positive smile on his face. He knows things are starting to turn.
Thanks, Matt. Elliott Sadler leads on the restart. Just to update a couple of drivers. Tony Stewart did come to pit road, restarted 35th. Ryan Newman had to come back, stop and go penalty, restarted 38th.
Tell you what, 97 Kyle Busch is loose. That's twice in the last couple corners that car got real loose when he got in there.
You saw that? I'm sorry.
That's it.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 car, another one of the championship chasers, one lap down. Back in 40th. Marty on Biffle.
Well, we just talked about Greg Biffle's pit stop when he did come to pit road, Bill, and currently they are in second place. The chassis is fine, but when they pulled off that tire, another right rear that was blistered, and this is what Biffle had to say on the radio.
It runs over something on the racetrack, like sealer or whatever. It'll just take off. The nose will just take off like I got a flat, like a chunk come out of the tire, and I got a flat. I don't understand. Guys, we're not racing for win right here. We're racing to finish. That's it. Just whatever we can do to survive tonight. That's all we're here for. Because a lot of guys aren't going to get to finish.
And that's a shame, but what else can these guys do? If they go out and run that car as hard as they can, they're going to blow a tire in 30 laps. If their competitors don't and stay out there, they're going to lose.
All you hope as a competitor, it's just not you. You hope when the caution comes out, it's somebody else before it happens to you, because every driver's thinking about it right now. There's not a whole lot. You can back off a little bit, but there's going to be guys that aren't going to back off and start losing those spots.
And they've been thinking about it not just for hours or days, but for weeks, because there was a tremendous amount of concern about this racing surface going back to testing and even before that, Benny.
Testing is when they found out what kind of problem they had. They come in here, Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, the 20 and 16, both those cars wrecked two cars during practice. And they found out just how slick the racetrack it was.
But they knew how slick and how much grip there was, but they didn't know there was a tire issue then.
They didn't find that out until last night, really.
Right. Alan on Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Bill, just to follow up on Tony Stewart, you know, in the past he's had a reputation for being, oh, let's say just tempered, where something like what just happened to him on the racetrack would upset him. Tony's been the one on the radio cheering up his pit crew, saying, okay, you know, look at it this way. We can go a lap farther on fuel than those other guys can now.
And you can do that, and it helps you do that when you've got as good a race car as Tony does. I mean, Tony's got a very, very fast race car. He's picked his way through traffic all day long. He's up to 28th spot already, so he's got time on his side, and he's got a good car.
The one concern, though, is being back in the field when you don't know what's going to happen with those guys in front of you.
Look at all this. I mean, he's back in all this heavy, heavy traffic that you never know what's going to happen.
Hey, they were wrecking at the front of the Busch race last night.
Yeah,
so.
true. That's true. Trying to pass for the lead.
Yeah.
In fact, that was Tony himself. Again, this track was levigated, or basically they grind the track down. It is much smoother and faster than it has been in the past. Stewart behind Rusty Wallace. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth, another championship contender, back to pit road. Marty.
And Bill, the problems are not cured for the 8th place man in championship standings. Matt Kenseth coming back to pit road, as you said. The fix that they did to the right front did not work. There still is a fender rub on the right front. Matt said, I'm going to cut this tire, guys. We have got to get this fixed. So they're going to come in, knock it up, actually, away from the tire, and then try to put a piece of tape on top of the right front fender as well at the same time. So a lot of fixes here. They're going to go down more laps here for the 17 team.
Marty, it was cut. The right front was down when he came into this pit box.
Yep, you see it right there, Wally. It was indeed cut. Big cut.
And Ryan Newman, remember, he drug his gas can around the racetrack. Alan, he's back in 34th.
And Benny, the reason for that, another miscommunication. It was a 2-tire pit stop. Ryan took off. The fuel man couldn't get the can disengaged. They had to come back in for the penalty, so then they went and changed the other tires as well. He's got a lot of track position to make up again tonight.
Newman back in 34th, Mayfield 35th, Kenseth struggling. Elliott Sadler strong last night, strong tonight, trying to get a win on the home field at Charlotte.